Tools and Twisties. Hey, we got another Harbor Freight weekend sale edition. Buy this, skip that. They're having a 30% off items under 20 bucks for Inside Track members, under $10 for non-Inside Track members. I think a lot of viewers are Inside Track or they're interested in joining Inside Track. So I'm going to assume that you're Inside Track members. If not, you can decide whether or not it's worth it to join. But I'm not going to read every item that's in Harbor Freight that's under 20 bucks. But I'm going to give you some picks and what I think might be worth picking up on the sale. What I think is definitely a skip and maybe some alternatives as well. By the way, all the items that I show that are not Harbor Freight, I'll try to provide some links to down below on Amazon or other sources. And the Harbor Freight stuff, you know, obviously you know how to find that. Most of the sales are in-store only. You can't do a lot of it online. They want you to come in. They want you to buy the stuff that's on sale and some other stuff. But at any rate, limit 5 items, January 30th to February 1st. That's 5 items, I believe, per visit. You could at least go 3 times in 3 days. In a lot of stores, I think if you walk back in after you purchase something, you know, 10 minutes, half an hour later, they're fine with that. I don't know if the computers are checking that now, but I don't think so. So let's get started. First up, the Icon Mini Toolbox. I picked up one in purple. They're pretty cool, actually. You know, at first I was pretty resistant to them, but for 13 bucks on sale, they're kind of nice. The one thing I will mention to you is that there's 2 different versions of them. One version where the drawer slides out further, and one version where the drawer does not slide out as far. And as near as I can tell, there's no way to really tell from the packaging which is which, but it's pretty obvious when you get one. The other one maybe only comes out about that far instead of that far. And one thing I did notice on them is that the one that I have that comes out all the way has these little black bumpers on it, and the one that does not come out all the way has much bigger clear bumpers on it. So my guess is that they're sourcing it from 2 different factories and they're slightly different. This is actually the older one, but it's in purple, which is a relatively new color. So I can't figure it out. If any of the viewers know what the secret is to making sure you get one that has full length slides, let me know in the comments. But you know, 13 bucks, any of the colors, you know, I think it's a pretty good deal. Next up, we have the 3/8 inch Torx bit set. 20 bucks on sale for 14 bucks with the 30% off discount. I do not have this set. I have some other Torx sets. We'll talk about all this stuff in a minute. But, you know, not a bad deal. It's a 3/8 inch drive. I kind of like it when I have a bit set that's all the same drive size. Like, for instance, here, this is a Snap-on set of hex, but they're all 3/8 inch drive. And when you go, you know, when you have sets that are 1/4 inch and 3/8 and 1/2 inch mixed, you know, that's fine, but they're a little bit harder to store. So yeah, I don't have these. I might actually pick them up because I have these Torx bits, which are from Astro, really, really nice. And I've sort of moved more to this stubby S2 style integrated. But I might pick these up. These are similar to the Snap-on ones. I did recently buy, as an alternative, Cat Tools is having a 20% off sale. And check out my other video if you're not familiar with Cat Tools and the relationship to Snap-on. But essentially, some, but not all, Cat Tools are made by Snap-on, and they're, you know, identical to Snap-on except for the, you know, the roll markings on them that will say Cat instead of Snap-on. But you can even see on them, and you can check out my other video for more details. You can see the little Snap-on logo poking through the little stylized desk there. But I picked these up on sale from Cat. I think they were a pretty good deal. You know, 46 bucks on sale. Yeah, 46 bucks is not 14, but these are US made Snap-on sockets, and it's a bigger set, and it comes with a little e-torque. So maybe something to consider. But you know, my experience with Icon tools have been very good, and I imagine, especially with a warranty, I believe these are S2 steel. You know, worth picking up. 14 bucks. Yeah, kind of hard to go wrong. Next up is the Icon extension. I kind of like this thing. It's kind of cool. It works particularly well if you're using it with an impact and you need a longer reach and you want something that can spin. But you know, 14 bucks. You can use it as a standard extension as well. You don't have to use it with a slider, although I imagine with these little grooves in it, it's slightly less strong than a normal 1/2 inch. But I kind of like it. you know, it's a cool little tool for 14 bucks on sale. I think it's a go. Continuing with Icon is the mini Torx driver set I have right here. I don't like this set. This is a skip for me. It's only 10 bucks. It's cheap enough, but it's just the handles don't feel quite right to me. They're too small. It's kind of, I don't know. You know, some people have them. They love them. For me, it's kind of a no-go. So, you know, for 10 bucks, it's not like you're the end of the world if you buy them, you don't like them. But for me, that's a skip. Next up, we're moving into some Quinn stuff. The Quinn low profile sealed head ratchet. You can tell immediately this is not the Comfort Grip version. The Comfort Grip versions are all they sell when you buy them singly, and the metal handle versions are all they sell when you buy them as part of like the master kits. Like that's the 3/8 inch master kit up there, and this was part of the 1/4 inch. But these are the same as the gear wrench. You know, they're quite nice ratchets, 90 tooth, very smooth, minimal back drag, sealed head, nicely made. I mean, they're great little ratchets for 13 bucks. Yeah, I think that's a buy. And, you know, I like both metal handles and Comfort Grips, you know, sort of your pick, which you prefer, but you don't have a lot of choice. You're going to get the metal handle if you buy the master sets, and you're going to get the Comfort Grip if you buy them separately. So unfortunately, the 3/8 inch one has now moved above 20 bucks. I think it used to be below, but now it's above 20 bucks, so it's not eligible for the 30% off sale. Next up are the Quinn, and these I have a question mark. They're only 10 bucks, and I like Quinn sockets. This is a 3/8 inch socket from that 3/8 inch master kit. Sorry, you can't really see it with the toolbox lit up, but still can't see a lot of it, but it's back there. Quinn sockets are pretty nice. Not as nice as Icon, you know, not as nice as Snap-on, but very, very decent sockets, you know. My issue with this particular kit is it's a 1/2 inch drive, and it's 10 to 19. That's kind of a funny spread for a 1/2 inch drive. I mean, this 3/8 inch drive, I think, goes from 6 to 24. So, you know, if you have to step up to 1/2 inch drive for a ratchet, you might want a socket that's bigger than 19 as well. So, you know, it should go to at least 22, I think. So, I have that as a question mark. And this is the same for the deeps. So, you know, 10 bucks and 13 bucks, again, you know, maybe as an extra kit, as a travel kit, you know, it's worth getting. But on a 1/2 inch drive, I'm going to want sockets that are a little bit bigger than 19, unless it's some kind of backup set. I don't have these. These are the Quinn diamond tip screwdrivers. Several viewers have commented that they really, really like this set, and it's 12 bucks. So, you know, I have a lot of screwdriver sets. I have a lot of really high-end screwdriver sets, you know. I have Weras, I have Wihas, I have a bunch of other stuff. But for 12 bucks, I might try these. But I'll also point out, and I don't know if the deal is still available, but Tecton had these US-made screwdrivers, these hard handle sort of Snap-on-like screwdrivers. And these were on closeout. They moved to a German manufacturer. Tecton has moved to a German manufacturer for the screwdrivers. And these were 12 bucks for, I think it was a 4-piece set of standard drivers, US made. So the same price as this for a US made hard handle screwdriver. Check the Tecton set website, see if they're still available. And I may pick up a set of these and try them for myself. Evidently the diamond tips make them really, really grippy, and a lot of people like them. Here's another skip for me. This is the Quinn precision screwdriver. And again, you know, most of the Quinn tools I really like, but these I bought, I didn't like them, I returned them. You know, the Wera precision screwdriver set, I'll put a link below, but this was not terribly expensive. I mean, it's more than 10 bucks, but it was really reasonably priced. And these are superb, really nice. And the warranty on Wera is lifetime. It's not maybe quite as easy as walking into a Harbor Freight store, but still a relatively easy warranty. So check below for links to that. Pittsburgh ratchets. You know, we looked at the Quinn, and this is the Pittsburgh version. Also, really, you know, Pittsburgh ratchets are pretty nice. This is the 1/4 inch flex head for 18 bucks, where this is the 3/8 one I'm showing. But this is a very decent ratchet. It's not a locking head. It is sealed, and you know, I think it's, yeah, they're nice ratchets. For 13 bucks, if you're looking for a backup 3/8 inch ratchet or you're just on a tight budget, definitely something, I think you might want to consider. I have a lot of other ratchets though. There's some great ratchet brands out there that aren't a lot of money, so you don't have to go for the Pittsburgh. Same thing in a non-flex head. This is a 1/2 inch drive for up to 17 bucks, but you can get 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch. So any of these Pittsburghs are going to be less than 20 bucks on sale. What next? We have the Roto head ratchet. I've never tried the Pittsburgh or the Icon, or I don't think Quinn makes one, Roto heads, but I got to tell you, I absolutely love this KTC Roto head. It's going to be several times more expensive than this, but this is a tool that if you do decide to splurge a little bit and you want a Roto head, superb. Link below. I can't remember how much they are. They vary. The Japanese tools tend to vary a lot. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it from some other sources. But yeah, there's the KTC part number you can see. Superb. And a very, very small head too. So they work really well when you want to, put a socket or something on it. And you can use it sort of as a bit driver style and then ratchet it down. Really, really nice. Very highly recommended. Yeah, this is a Harbor Freight video, but when there's other alternatives, I like to mention them. But if you want to try a Roto head, not sure if you're going to like that style, maybe give this one a try for 13 bucks. 17 bucks for this ridiculous contraption here. Maybe some of you have it and love it, and you can tell me how great it is, but that's going to be a loose joint. That's going to be a loose joint. There's going to be wobble. And I don't like this style of Pittsburgh ratchet either. It's very different. You can see from where the screws are. It's very different than the other ones. And I don't like these. I've tried them before. I think what they're trying to do is something like this. This is a little Tone stubby and a Koken extension and a little Astro, a Tone flex head, 1/4 inch. And something like this is a superb tool. But it's going to be a heck of a lot more than $17 to put something like this together. I think these are about 30, and the Koken extensions are very, very nice, but expensive. And the Tone ratchets, these are pretty reasonable. But at any rate, I can see the purpose of something like this. And if you're going to only use it once in a great, great while, maybe something like this is okay. But this to me seems more like a gimmick tool. Pittsburgh metric in 1/2 inch. I have that set in 3/8 inch. I use this as part of my, I have a tool roll that I keep in my cars, and I sometimes I'll cut down the holders and stuff. This one I didn't have to cut down because it was short enough. This is a 3/8 inch only. This set that's on, I marked up here, 17 bucks on sale for 12. It's a 3/8 inch and 1/2 inches. As I said, I don't always love it when they combine drive sizes, but this I think is the same. It just has a couple sizes larger on it. So yeah, 12 bucks, good backup tools. I probably don't want it in my primary toolbox. Same, they have the long reach, 10 bucks on sale, and they have it in a regular head and ball head. And I have a set of, these are also not super high-end ball end. And the ball ends aren't going to be quite as strong. So, maybe it's a good thing to buy if you want an inexpensive set of long reach hexes, to buy the Pittsburgh ones because they're so easy to warranty. I have really, really nice snap-on ones for the short ones. And as I said, I've been migrating. I'll show you some other tools in a minute that sort of replace all of these. Again, this is the Torx set. I have the Astro Torx, but again, as a travel kit, I might pick this up for 4 bucks and throw it because I have these two in my tool roll that goes in the car, and I don't have a Torx set. I have little Torx bits that are part of my little Weehaw Go box, but I don't have Torx socket sets. So, 5 bucks, 30% off, and maybe I'll pick those up. Then we have some impact sockets, and again, this is a 3/8 inch set, 10 to 19. The Pittsburgh impact sockets are not bad. I've had this set for forever. This is a 10 to 27. So basically you get this many. And I think this is a 1/2 inch drive where this is a 3/8. So, if you have a 3/8 inch impact and you want some inexpensive sockets to go on it, 13 bucks, maybe it's worth picking up. The Pittsburgh impact sockets are decent enough. And if you, start to mushroom out one of interfaces on it, then, you know, bring it back, get some new ones. Pittsburgh, flare nut, crow's foot. Yeah, decent enough. I mean, I have some really nice crowfoot wrenches. I have some Protos that I picked up recently, and it makes a difference on crowfoot to have a high quality wrench. But if sometime I can't get my wrench in there and I need a crowfoot, Icon doesn't make crowfoot in metric crowfoot. So, you know, you kind of have to go down to the Pittsburgh level. I'm not sure if Quinn makes one or not, but at any rate. Pittsburgh polished wrenches, you know, $6 again. This is sort of a go bag style, and this is an instant savings. My understanding is that instant savings you can stack with 30% off. You can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or if the store allows it or doesn't allow it. But this is a long pattern copy of the Pittsburgh wrenches, and they have a couple different versions. But they're decent enough for, you know, do I want to use them as my everyday wrenches? I would if I was on a tight budget. And just replace them if they started to spread. But they're decent enough. And for that kind of price, again, for putting together a travel toolkit, pretty good deal. These are a no. I thought these were kind of silly. It's a 6-piece of Phillips and slotted screwdriver bits, which are nice to have, but it's a 1/2-inch drive. I mean, who is going to use a 1/2-inch drive on a #1 Phillips bit? I think that's just silly. I don't know why they don't make that in a 3/8 or even a 1/4-inch drive. That's silly. So we got the Pittsburgh hammers. These are kind of ubiquitous. They're not, you know, I just warrantied one out. I had one that was many years old, and it was all cut up and kind of beat to heck. They're okay, you know, they're not bad. They're inexpensive enough, $6. I have a video coming up soon where I'm going to be reviewing these Capri US made. These are trusty hammers made in the USA. They're sold under a bunch of different names. They're sold under Tecton, Capri, I think Matco. Snap-on used to sell trusty hammers, but really, really nice. The plastic on them doesn't cut up nearly as much, but US made, but they're way more expensive, way more expensive. So, you know, subscribe and set up notifications if you want to see that video coming up soon. You know, for a beater hammer, you know, hammer is basically, I don't know, soft rock on a stick. So these are, you know, obviously both dead blows. You can hear this one. Sounds like a maraca. And the Capri you barely hear. So, you know, there are differences beyond just, you know, the handles and the plastic. US made. People always want US made tools. Sometimes they're willing to pay for them, sometimes they're not. But anyway, Pittsburgh hammer for $6. Again, throw it in an extra toolbox, or, you know, like I said, I had this one I used for years and years and years. So old it was a black one, and I haven't made them black in a long time. So yeah, so that's the 2-pound. This is the 3-pound, and again, so this is the, you know, Inside Track Club. It's $8 at 33% off. So if you're not Inside Track, it'll be a few pennies more. Yeah, next are the Hercules nut setters. I recently picked up, I'm going to give you an alternative on these, you know, $19 minus 30%. Let me know if you use these. I recently picked up a set of Viha ones, and these are beautiful. Really, really nice, well made. They don't come on this rail, which is also quite nice. But these are, I think, about $30 on sale. So, you know, yeah, it's more, $19. If you don't use them frequently, maybe the Hercules are great. Maybe the Hercules are great no matter what. I don't know if these are made in China or if they're made in Taiwan. These are Taiwanese made, lifetime warranty. So yeah, this was they list this as a new tool, metric tap and bit set. And I don't know, this is ancient, and I think this is Harbor Freight. I think Hallmaster is a Harbor Freight brand, but it's kind of the same thing. And these were next to nothing. And yeah, I don't use these a lot. I'm going to have proper taps that I'll use, but I thought these might come in handy. I think I've used them once or twice. But I thought these might come in handy. As you know, recently I picked up this sort of step bit, which is a 1/4-inch drive, to keep with my 1/4-inch drive tools. And it made me think that maybe keeping this instead of as a tap and, you know, bit set, but to keep it with my 1/4-inch tools as sort of a little bit of a hand drill. might be useful. So at any rate, you know, sometimes they change the name, make it a Hercules instead of a Hallmaster. Is this steel any better? I don't know. Yeah, I thought I would show this. The U.S. General 1/4 inch magnetic socket holder, 12 bucks on sale. I really like the Olsa ones. This is an Olsa one, and I think they're nicer than the Harbor Freight. They're not that much more. The link's below. But the Olsa ones are really well made. The magnets are a little stronger. But, you know, 12 bucks if you want to pick up the U.S. General one. I'm sure it's okay. Just, you know, they're nice. They're lifetime warranty. They're made in the USA. Yeah, so that's my alternative recommendation. Yeah, so these trays, these silicone rubber trays, U.S. General. I used to use these quite a bit. I have a bunch of them. When I started getting these magnetic mats, these didn't come out as often, but it occurred to me when I was setting up for this video that putting the magnetic mat inside the silicone tray might make the best of both worlds, because you have edges where things can't roll off and you have the magnetic attraction, so holds things in place. So yeah, 13 bucks, magnetic tray. I don't have this. I'm going to pick this up. 11 bucks on sale. I think that was based on 30% off their original price. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh no, this is instant savings. So if it's stacked, 16 minus 30, 11. I'm going to get these. I have plenty of test leads, but I don't have any that are on this sort of roll-up retractable 30-foot long. So yeah, I thought that might come in handy once in a while for troubleshooting. Pick them up, add them to my toolbox. And finally, we have the Merlin tire gauge. Yeah, I've used these before. They're pretty good. Not bad. 12 bucks for a digital tire gauge. It hasn't crapped out on me. I have a couple of them. I use them quite a bit. The last thing I wanted to maybe show real quick was this. I'm going to do a video on this coming up soon, so make sure you set up for notifications if you want to see it. But this is Astro Tools, and you know, we've been talking a lot about bit sets. We've been talking about Torx bits and hex bits. This is a set of S2 steel of dual drive, so it can either go on an 11mm wrench or on a 1/4 inch, with basically everything, T8 through T30, M4 through M12, those are triple squares, the M's, metric hex 2 through 10, standard hex, and then Phillips and square drives. And Astro Tools makes some really, really nice stuff. And I think if you couple this with, you know, something like a 1/4 inch driver, maybe a 1/4 inch bit driver with an extension, you know, you're replacing almost all of this. Not an inexpensive set. There'll be a link below, but super top quality S2 steel, really, really nicely made. And then, you know, you can use it on this kind of thing, or you can pop it in. This is a new Vim wrench that I picked up. Astro makes a couple. I have a couple others as well. Yeah, they lock in there, and then you end up with I just want to make sure it locks. Yep, it does. Yeah, very low profile. So you end up with low profile, and you can use it as a bit set, and you can put it, you know, they're impact rated. You can throw it onto your impact gun, or your hex drivers, anything you want. Really, really nice kit. So not inexpensive, but when you consider how many different tools it replaces, maybe it's worth picking up. So that's our video for today. Sorry, it ran a little bit long. Tools and Twisties with the 30% off sale, Harbor Freight. Even if you're watching this after the sale is over, you know, it's a good guide to the different tools that are out there. Yeah, we have some other videos coming up soon, so make sure you keep an eye out for them. And that's it. Let us know in the comments which ones of these you might be picking up, which ones you already have, which ones are great, what's your buy this, skip that list yourself. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Tools and Twisties. We are out.